Wild weather has really kicked into gear in the U.S. recently, and so we're devoting this latest segment of Earth News to a brief overview of how it has hit the nation. Texas is well known for its heat, of course, but the temperatures have been ramped up this year as more than 1.4 million acres across the state have suffered under raging fires. Around 800 fires have sprung up, burning over 400 buildings and killing 2 firefighters. This satellite image shows the high temperatures that contributed to hazardous fire conditions. So why the sudden rush of fires? Well, weather conditions in March turned the state into a tinderbox. Earlier, the winter season had left behind abundant vegetation after a moist spring in 2010. But then a severe drought settled in, which led to the driest March on record. Some regions had less than 5% of their normal rainfall. March and April were also warmer than normal. As we can see by the red tones in the images, most of Texas was much warmer than average, which dried out the grasses, shrubs, and trees that were already wilting from a lack of rain. The final ingredient needed for disaster, and which duly came along, were high winds and low humidity to create extremely dangerous fire conditions. Staying in Texas for a moment, since April 6, more than 1 million acres have burned throughout the state. This image shows the prevailing conditions on April 15, 2011. High winds circulated smoke and dust southeast across the state. The fires we see here are marked in red. Most of them are larger than 10,000 acres. We also see 2 wildfires burning in northern Mexico. So far, in 2011, firefighters have responded to 7,807 fires, prompting Texas Governor Rick Perry to request that President Obama issue a federal declaration of a major disaster. These images show the extreme difficulty of tackling 2 large wildfires in northern Mexico's Coahuila state. The fires are burning on steep mountain slopes that are difficult for firefighters to reach. The fires, called El Buenito and La Sabina, were caused by lightning strikes in mid-March and had burned 245,000 acres by early April. The fires are among the largest in Mexico's history. Burned land is brick red, and warm areas glow orange in the infrared light. Lack of winter rain and frost left the plants dry and prone to fire. On top of that, the area has not burned for more than 20 years, during which time a lot of fire potential built up. Thunderstorms and steady, strong winds with gusts up to 70 miles per hour completed the formula for a dangerous, fast-moving wildfire. 900 firefighters struggled to control the fires. A Boeing 747 tanker and 12 helicopters dropped thousands of gallons of water to quell them. Fortunately, once the fires are extinguished, the grasses and shrubs should return quickly as fire usually spares the roots. But never mind the fires, what about tornadoes? The last few days of April saw the deadliest tornado outbreak in the United States since 1974. By the morning of April 28, more than 250 people were left dead in 6 states. Alabama was the hardest hit, with 160 people losing their lives. This image shows the storms at lunchtime on the second day, and the animation shows the development of the weather system that spurred the widespread tornadoes. The cloud patterns show the perfect ingredients for deadly tornadoes. The swirl of almost continuous clouds is a stable mass of cold air rotating in the north along the top of the image. Below it, moist air pushes north and west from the Atlantic Ocean and Gulf of Mexico. The collision between these air masses generated severe weather that was amplified by the globe-spanning jet stream. These 2 factors then produced intense thunderstorms that moved east and north with the jet stream. The bright white spots within the clouds are particularly active storms. The slow eastward progression of the upper-level system allowed the bad weather to hang around in the same area for longer than normal. Hence, the National Weather Service reports later that more than 150 tornadoes were reported in just one day. The tornadoes raked across Alabama on April 27, 2011, killing as many as 210 people. The hardest hit community was Tuscaloosa. This image shows 3 tornado tracks around the city compared to the area before the storm. The tracks are pale brown trails where green trees and plants have been uprooted. We see the center track running from southwest of Tuscaloosa and extending northeast towards Birmingham. Meanwhile, in early May, floods forced local officials to breach a levee near Cairo, Illinois, which forced residents from their homes along the Mississippi River. The Mississippi's water level reached just over 46 feet at Osceola, Arkansas, and Memphis, Tennessee. These NASA satellite images taken 1 year apart in May 2010 and 2011 use both infrared and visible light to increase the contrast between water and land. Water varies in color from electric blue to navy. Clouds are pale blue-green. Vegetation is green and soil is brown. The Mississippi River is clearly more swollen in 2011 from north of Cairo to south of Memphis. In the west, the Black River is also swollen, and large areas of standing water appear between the Black and Mississippi rivers. Join us next time for more news about our weird and wonderful planet, brought to you by Starlight Express.